Let's start. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat, Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sinduraruna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikya Taranayaka Shekaram Smidamukhi Mabina Vakshoruham Panibhyam Alivona Ratna Jashakam Rattotpalam Vipratim Saumyam Ratnaganastharakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam Dhyayet Padmasanastam Vikasitavadanaam Padmavatraya Dakshim Hemabam Pidavastram Karagalidalazat Hemavatmam Varangim Sarvalankara Yuktam Satatam Avayadam Bhaktaram Ram Bhavani Shri Vidyam Shantamurtim Sagalashuranudam Sarvasambat Pradatrim Sakunguma Vilevanam Aligachumbikasturikam Samandadirekshanam Sadajapavashangusham Ashesha Janamohini Marunamalya Bhushojvalam Java Kuzmamasuram Japavidau Smaridambikam Arunam Garunadarangirakshim Dradavashangusha Pushpavana Javam Animani Viravradam Mayukai Ahamityeva Vibhavage Maheshi. Om Parashakti Namaha, Om Parashakti Namaha, Om Parashakti Namaha. So today we are starting the next 100 names of Lalitha Tripura Sundari Devi. And these 100 names of Lalitha Tripura Sundari are called as Vishwakala. The next 100 names. Today we are going to do the first 15 names from 701 till 715. So let us start. Om Deshakala Parichinnage Namaha. Om Sarvagage Namaha. Om Sarvamohinye Namaha. Om Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shastramaye Namaha. Om Guhambaye Namaha. Om Guryarupinye Namaha. Om Sarvopadhinirmuktaye Namaha. Om Sadashivapativrataaye Namaha. Om Sampradayeshwarye Namaha. Om Sadhune Namaha. Om Yai Namaha. Om Guru Mandala Rovinye Namaha. Om Kulotirnage Namaha. Om Bhagaradhyaye Namaha. So the name 711 and 712, which is Om Sadhune Namaha, Om Yai Namaha. These two names, actually the shloka is Sadhvi. The name in the shloka is Sadhvi. So there is if you remember when the Lalita Sahasranamam introduction we did, the beauty of the Lalita Sahasranamam is that there is no repetition of the names. All 1000 names are distinctive, unlike in the Vishnu Sahasranamam. All the names are distinctly different. And this, to prevent the repetition of the name or prevent prevent the concept of repetition, which is called as the punarukti dosha, which is called as the punarukti dosha, to ensure that the punarukti dosha does not happen or the repetition of the name does not happen, because Sadhvi has appeared before. So that is why this name is called Om Sadhune, Om Sadhune Namaha and Om Yai Namaha, which when combined it will become Sadhvi. So the actual name is Sadhu and E. So we'll come to that. When we come to that, we will look at it. It's just I thought I should tell you upfront so that you are also prepared. Suddenly you will say, why is he saying Yai Namaha and then he's saying E? What is the connection? Okay, now the first name is Om Deshakala Parichinnayai Namaha. Om Deshakala Parichinnayai Namaha. Actually, that is Deshakala Parichinnayai Namaha. So, which is actually Deshakala Aparichinnayai Namaha. So, that is what this refers to. So, Parichinna means limited, divided, conditioned, or bonded or bounded. So that is what basically it means, that there is a boundary within which Devi is. So you are limiting Devi. So that is what Parichinna refers to. So this name is that Deshakala Aparichinna. Now Aparichinna means that she is without any boundary, she is without any limitation, and she cannot be divided, she cannot be conditioned or bonded. So that is what this refers to, the fact that Devi does not have a limitation. So the literal meaning is that Desha Kala. Desha means space, Kala means time. So she cannot be bounded by space or time. She is not limited by time and space, and she cannot be measured by time or space. That is what this name refers to. There is no way in which you can actually measure or limit what Devi stands for. Now, if you look at all aspects of the universe or creation, whether it is Lord Brahma or the most lowly insect, everything has got a form and it is limited in terms of life, and it has a beginning, it has an end. So even Brahma has got a beginning and an end. Brahma is supposed to be for a kalpa, that is his period of time for Brahma's existence also. So there is always a limit for everything, including Lord Brahma. There is a limitation of time, but there is a beginning, it has got an end, it has got a form. So that which does not exist before the beginning and after the end does not exist in the middle also. So if it is not there before or after, does not exist in the middle. As far as Devi is concerned, Devi does not have a beginning, Devi does not have an ending, because she is there before creation, she is there after the dissolution also. Because of that, and she has no beginning, she has no end, because she is none other than Brahman, which is the main creative force. She is unlimited by space and time and is eternal. So that is what this name means. And she is all pervading like ether, and separate from whom there exists nothing, is not limited by space, time or things. That is what the Shaura Samhita says. The Shaura Samhita states that there is no limit to what Devi stands for. So that is why she is called Deshakala Parichinnayai Namaha. But when we say it should be, the correct name is Deshakala Parichinna, so that Deshakala Aparichinnayai Namaha comes into play. So that is what this name stands for. 702. Om Sarvagayai Namaha. Sarva means all or everywhere. Ga or Gam means to go or to move. So what this means is that she pervades all the worlds all living and non-living things, and she is omnipresent. Now this goes back to the earlier name also, Deshakala Parichinnaye Namaha, which is the fact that there is no time, there is no space as far as Devi is concerned. Even Brahma has got Kalpa. So from all those perspectives, she is well beyond all this, because she is there all over the world. Devi has her presence. Now there is an incident in the Varaha Purana where Devi is in the form of Kriya Shakti. Devi is in the form of Kriya Shakti, and she is doing penance on the Shveda mountains, and Lord Brahma appears. Lord Brahma says, "What boon do you want?" It's a bit of a quixotic perspective, because she is the Shakti behind Lord Brahma, and she is doing penance and praying to Lord Brahma. So she is turning around and telling Lord Brahma, when Brahma turns around and says, "What boon do you want?" And she says, "I do not wish to be limited to any corner of the world, and you have to give me the boon of omnipresence." So then the question will be, how is Brahman, which is eternal, omnipresent, constant, unmoving, do penance? How does the concept of penance? This is all part of Devi's extensive Leela, all the divine games that Devi plays. She appears in the form of a Devi as Kriya Shakti, does the penance, and then asks Brahma her boon, and Brahma gives her the boon. So all this is a bit of a Leela as far as Devi is concerned, and therefore you can say that it is the creative aspect of the person who's written this down, which says that the formless Brahman assumes human form and guides the world. So that is what can be attributed to this particular description in the Varaha Purana. Now in the Devi Purana, the saying is that the real truth is Devi. Devi Purana says that the real truth is Devi. She is beyond the Vedas. She is beyond sacrifices. She is beyond heaven. She is beyond animate and inanimate objects as well. So she is the one who is worshipped. She is the one who is sacrificed. You remember there was Balipriyaye Namaha. There was an earlier name which I said that is something, it's a very beautiful name, Balipriyaye Namaha. The importance of giving, the importance of sacrifice, all those aspects which all of us have to learn. And that's right, when we are giving, we give like this. When we are giving, our thought process is to give like this. When we take like this. So that is the difference between giving and taking. When we have to give, you have to give like this. That is what we have to do. Unfortunately, while giving, we give with our tight fist. So that was the meaning of Balipriya. Important, very important aspect. So she pervades all these aspects. She is the one who is worshipped. She is the one who is sacrificed. She is food. She is drink. She is present everywhere, and therefore she is omnipresent. She is Sarvaga. She is there. Om Sarvagaye Namaha. That is what this name refers to. 703. Om Sarva Mohinyai Namaha. So Sarva Mohinyai Namaha. She is Mohini, and she is there all over the place. She deludes everybody as Mohini. She is the person who creates all this Maya. Part of her games. She creates all this Maya, watches all the people running around in this Maya, and then she has a laugh and says that people are going around chasing all these things under the pretext of Maya. What is the explanations that we can give for this? Even people like Narada. Narada was also deluded in Maya. Now, even the wisest people, after extreme practice, extreme penance, they have this concept of plurality. So this Advaita philosophy, very easy to say, but how many people actually have a complete belief in that? You see Advaita, and then afterwards you go and see an idol of a god somewhere. Immediately your hands come together, because we are rooted in non-duality. We are rooted in as humans, we are rooted in non-duality. Whereas if we have the concept of Advaita, then even that prayer does not need to happen. But because we are rooted in non-duality, therefore that happens, and there's nothing wrong in it. That is something that we do, and that is the way. The more we do it, the more we do it. That is when we start understanding that it is not non-duality, but the aspect of self, looking inward, which is the most important aspect that we have to look and work towards. So even the common man, even the wisest one, after long and hard practices, lead a life rooted in plurality and not in unity with the self. So that sense of plurality is created by Maya. Maya creates that sense of plurality. Yeah, that is what actually happens. So all the senses are created with outgoing tendencies. And we keep talking about this several times. There is always an outgoing tendency. We have a tendency to look outwards. And what have we learned in several of the earlier names? The tendency should not be to look outwards, but to look inwards. And we say that our eyes are our windows to the external world. All our sense objects are windows to the external world. So what we need to do is first close our windows to the external world and start looking inwards. The minute we start looking inwards, that is when we start discovering the inner self. So that is the important aspect. And why does this happen? That is because of Maya, where we are forced to start looking outwards. So when we start looking outwards, then we understand we look at things in a not in a what do you call it, in a non-dual perspective, but from a dual perspective. And once we start looking inwards, it becomes a case of unity. So that is what happens as far as we are concerned. Now the other question from a Maya perspective is, how come you are having opposites inside Devi or coming from Devi? So you have hot and cold, you have eternal, ephemeral, you have inert, alive, all these aspects, animate, inanimate, all these things are arising from Devi. Why is it? It is because that delusion is there, and that sense of duality hiding the unity is created by Devi. Even that Maya is created by Devi. Shiva says, this Parashakti, who is none other than Brahman, exists in me. She, as Maya, deludes the whole world, and she is dear to me. So basically, Shiva is saying that the Parashakti is in Shiva. Shiva says that Parashakti, who is none other than Brahman, exists in me. And as Maya, she is deluding the whole world, and she is also dear to me. Devi says to Himavat in another situation that Shastras such as Kapala, Bhairava, Sakala and Gautama, which affirm duality in opposition to what the Vedas, the Shruti and the Smriti say, were all created by me to bewilder the world. So she has created all these things to confuse the world, deliberately confuse. So they say first you confuse and then make sure that everybody is completely confused, and after the confusion is created, then you go about clearing it. What a wonderful way to control the world. It's a bit like what our good British friends used to do. You know, the Britishers were very good at this game. What was the game? The game was go there. So I will come up to Sudhaji and say, Sudhaji, oh, how are you? This, that. Do you know something? The other day I was speaking to Sheilaji and she said this. And then I will come to Sheilaji and say, hi Sheilaji, how are you? You know, this Sudhaji has said this. Now, when Sudhaji and Sheilaji come face to face and look at each other, both of you will look at each other with suspicion. Oh, Manojji said this about Sheilaji. Manojji said this about Sudhaji. So ultimately that suspicion is there between the two of you. And who will be laughing? I will be laughing. Because I have done all this game I have put into both of your minds. This is exactly what Devi is doing. This is exactly what Devi is doing. Only thing is, she's not doing at a human level. She's doing at a spiritual level in the form of Maya. That's what I just wanted to to explain in this particular example. Sorry, I won't play this game. Sudhaji, Sheilaji, this is not my style. You know that very well. Yeah. So there is a yantra and a mantra which is called Trilokya Mohana, which is the bewildering of all three worlds. So Devi is the person behind this Trilokya Mohana, which is both a mantra as well as a yantra. So again, this goes back to the aspect of Sarva Mohini. So that's what this refers to. 704. Om Saraswatyai Namaha. The name is Saraswati. So Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge. She is in the form of knowledge. So Devi is the goddess of knowledge. She is the power of speech. She is responsible for the flow of thought, the flow of speech. And in addition to that, there is another perspective as well. We'll come to that. Now, the Bharadwaja Smriti says, she resides in the tongue of all beings and guides their speech, and she is called Saraswati by the great rishis. Also, she is Saraswati as the one who shows the way for all eyes, which is the Vasishtha Ramayana perspective as well. Now, that word Saraswati has got you can split that up as Saras being lake and Vati being the one who possesses. So, the lake which is referred to is the Brahmarandra. Where is the Brahmarandra? Which is just under the Sahasrara Chakra. So it is at this place from where there is the flow of Amrita or nectar at the time of unition of Shakti and Shiva. So this secret meaning, what this means is that Devi is the one with the Brahmarandra from which there is a flow of nectar. So Saraswati, this name also means, this also refers to Devi, where there is an internal energy flow because of the splitting of the name Saras and Vati. So there's a flow of knowledge, flow of impressions, and all these things obtained from the senses. So this is what the word or the name of Devi Saraswati refers to. 705. Om Shastramayi Namaha, or the name is Shastramayi. Shastramayi. So Shastra is referring to which is drawn from the word Shas, which means to rule, instruct, or command. So she is the governing principles and source of all cosmic laws. And Tra is referring to the tool. So she is the mother of the Shastras. She is the mother, and she is in the form of the scriptures, and all her limbs and parts of her body are representing all scriptures. So there is the personification or the embodiment of all the scriptures in different parts of the body. What are those parts? We just quickly run through that. They say that the 4 Vedas were formed from her outgoing breath. The 4 Vedas, the Chatur Vedas, came from her outgoing breath, and the great mantras from her ego sense. From her sweet words were born poetry, drama, and rhetoric. From her tongue, Saraswati was born. The 6 Vedangas, which is the supplementaries to the Vedas, were created from her cheeks, and Mimamsa philosophy, Nyaya, Puranas, and Dharma Shastras from the top of her throat. Medicine and the science of archery from the middle of her throat, and the 64 arts from the bottom of her throat. The science of love from her shoulders, and the tantras from her limbs. This was the way all different parts of the body of Devi gave rise to the different Shastras. So this is an example of all the different ways in which it is done, and that is why she is called as Shastramayi. She is the mother of all these Shastras. 706. Om Guhambayai Namaha. Guha Amba. Guha is referring to Lord Muruga or Kartikeya. Referring to Lord Muruga or Kartikeya. She is the mother of Guha, Subramanya. Guha Amba. She is the mother of Guha. So the other perspective is that Guha refers to a cave. Guha refers to a cave. So she dwells in the cave of the heart. She doesn't dwell in a cave, she dwells in the cave of the heart. So that is what this is referring to. Now, the cave of the heart, what this means is that she is the inner consciousness or the Atman of soul. And how do you access this? Because she's deep inside the heart. The only way you will be able to access Devi is by deep meditation. So you can't just say, okay, go to Lulu, can I get access to Devi? It's not going to work. You have to do a lot of hard work. We have covered this, and in fact, we'll cover this in another name as well when it comes to the concept of the guru as well, yeah, or the samprada. We come to samprada where where we look at the aspects of Guru Sampradaya. Now, the going back to why he was called as Guha, there are several perspectives. One perspective is that Lord Shiva's energy was too intense. Lord Shiva's energy was too intense, and this was carried by Agni and Ganga to a secluded forest, and therefore the secret spark which was used to create Guha, the secret spark was used to create Guha, and that is why create Subramanya, and that is why he's called as Guha, which is a secretive perspective. Then there is another aspect, which is the fact that Subramanya, or in the form of Guha, was a hidden child. He was not exposed to the external world because they were waiting for him to get ready so that when he is ready, he can kill Tarakasura. So until such time, he was kept hidden. And the other perspective is that he was a warrior deity and a hidden warrior deity. And there is a further perspective is that all of the temples of Muruga are generally in caves on top of mountains. In caves on top of mountains. So therefore, that is also the Guha perspective as far as Subramanian is concerned, or Kartikeya is considered. So these are the different aspects of this name, which is Guha Amba or Guhamba. Om Guhambayai Namaha. 707. Om Guhya Rupinyai Namaha. Guhya is again the secretive aspect. Guhya Rupinyai, she who has a secret form. So when we talk of Devi, again going back to the earlier name as Guhamba, which is the mother of Guha, again it is like we are accepting that Devi and Guhamba and Guha are two perspectives. We are talking of the acceptance of duality. The acceptance of duality, because Devi is separate, Guha, Subramanian is separate as an offspring of Devi. Now, from here, even though from this particular name, what we are able to understand is that even though the descriptions talk of the common sense and a worldly approach, we have a common sense and a worldly approach, which is the fact that Guhya Rupini, Guhamba means that she is the mother of Subramanya. So there is a common sense approach. The actual truth is that Devi and Guha are one, which is going back to the Advaita philosophy, the concept of one self. Yeah, that aspect in itself is the most secretive and does not easily perceive. So that is why they say that she is Guhya Rupini. You can't just sort of, even though you are picturizing Devi as separate from Guha, to actually achieve and approach Devi, you need to work really hard to get to that state. So we worship Devi, who has assumed the form of the Guru, who has the form of secret knowledge, who is beloved of our secret devotees and resides in the secret place. So that is what this refers to. Devi effectively is unmanifested reality. Yeah. So she is beyond the grasp of ordinary human people. So she is the hidden essence in creating unmanifested consciousness beyond the material universe. So this is what this means. She is Guhya Rupini. You can't easily go and approach Devi. You have to work really hard, do all the right things in terms of meditation, and that's the only way you will be able to get to the state of exalted state, and you can experience Devi. 708. There's a bit of abstractism in some of the names, which I've always said that some of the names are very nice, very easy to grasp. Some of the names are pretty much abstract. We're going through an abstract phase now. Some of the names are abstract. Sarvopadi Vinirmuktaye Namaha. Sarva Upadi. Upadi means limitation. So Vinirmukta means she is free. So she who is free from all limitations goes back to the earlier, one of the earlier names also, Deshakala Parichinnaye Namaha. Similar, very similar meaning. Now, Upadi is limitation, conditioning. Upadi also means support. So everything on this planet has got Upadi. If you remember yesterday, on last Friday also, we had a discussion about the support perspective. Now, all the elements and their upadis we have, they have all forms of support are there for all the elements as well. So, if you look at Akasha, which is the ether perspective, the Akasha can be perceived through sound. Akasha is perceived through sound. How when the hand beats to the rhythm of music, it produces sound, because a part of the Akasha also goes with when it hits the drum, a part of the air also goes, and that's what creates the sound. So the Akasha manifests through the upadi of sound. By this conditioning of sound, Akasha manifests. Similarly, sun's rays falling on the desert causes illusion or mirage. So in that case, the sunlight is the upadi. That is what is the limitation or conditioning, and from that the mirages is created. Suppose you have still water. In the still water, you have trees appear upside down. If there is a reflection of a tree, the trees appear upside down. So the water surface is the upadi in this case. So all the knowledge is associated with such a limitation. Devi is beyond these limitations. So this is the aspect as far of Devi, as far as the fact that she is free from limitations. So you say that Devi is the mother of Skanda, Devi is the wife of Shiva, Devi is the daughter of Himavat. That's not the truth, because she is actually well beyond us. You're trying to put her inside a box. No, it doesn't work that way. You can't limit her. She's well beyond limitations. So that is what this name refers to, Devi's infinite presence right across the world. 709. Om Sadashiva Padivradaye Namaha. This is easy. Sadashiva Padivrada. Padivrada means she is a devoted wife to Sadashiva. And if you look at the way Devi is on Sadashiva. She is sitting on Sadashiva, on the throne of Devi. You have Sadashiva, and on Sadashiva, Devi is seated. She sits on Sadashiva, and Sadashiva is still. Sadashiva does not move. Yeah. So if your partner decides to sit on you, yeah, I can't imagine myself sitting still. At some point in time, I'll say, no, come on, get up, it's time. Yeah, I can't take your weight anymore. Sadashiva is extremely still, because the remote control is with Devi. Yeah. So therefore, there is that perspective of stillness as pure consciousness, and she is kinetic. That makes it even more dangerous. So she is sitting on somebody, that person is actually still, and she is moving around. So I don't know if I want to switch roles with Sadashiva and say stay as still as possible while my Shakti turns around and decides to become kinetic. So that will be a bit of a challenge. So Shakti, there is another perspective. When she is sitting on Sadashiva, that is also the Ardhanarishwara concept, which is the fact that she is not separate from Shiva. That is also there, that she is not separate from Shiva. She and Shiva are always together. So that is a very beautiful perspective of how Devi and Shakti and Shiva are two parts of the same existence. 710 Sampradayeshwarye Namaha or Sampradayeshwari. The name is Sampradayeshwari. Samprada, which means you're talking of all the traditions. Samprada refers to the tradition. So she is the guardian or the presiding deity of all Samprada or Sampradaya. All the Samprada or Sampradaya. Now, how do you learn the Samprada? This Samprada is again something which we have to talk about very importantly. Very important. Samprada is not something that you go to a supermarket, buy a book or a bookshop, go and buy a book, sit and learn it, and then try and follow those traditions. That is not the right way of learning it. The right way of learning it is by the Guru Parampara, where the disciples are taught in the right manner, and this is a traditional wisdom which is imparted to the disciples by the Guru's words. So Devi is the presiding goddess of that wisdom of how Samprada is handed down from generation to generation, from Guru to Sishya. It is never done in the form of go and learn on your own, do it by yourself, DIY kind of approach. It does not work. So the Sanskrit meanings, the Sanskrit verses Samyak Pradiyate iti Sampradaya. So that is what this effectively means. She is the ultimate authority of spiritual lineage. And this goes back to the concept of Sri Vidya Tantra. Sri Vidya Tantra is not something which is to be done from just by going to somebody who says he knows and is going to impart it for a fee, or for that matter, without going through the actual process. Which is why we say that please be very, very selective in the way you go forward in your spiritual journey. Choose a right spiritual guru who will be able to hold you. It's not that you hold the Guru's hands. It is not that you hold the Guru's hands. The Guru, you pray to the Guru so that the Guru takes your hand. There is a difference between you holding the Guru's hand and the Guru holding your hand. That should be the state where the Guru is actually guiding you, holding you by the hand and guiding you on the correct path. So that is the most important perspective as far as this, the concept of Samprada and Sampradayeshwari. Yeah. So she is the source of all initiations. She is the supreme power that infuses energy into the samskaras and mantras. You learn all the samskaras, you learn all the mantras, you learn everything. But for these mantras, samskaras, everything to take effect, one of the most important aspect is Devi's grace. Grace is an important aspect to achieve what you or implement what you have learned. You have learned all these things. What is the point in learning all these if you don't have grace? Grace is the most important aspect for us to be able to go forward in the right direction. So Devi is primarily without attributes, no dependence, and the traditions view her as having attributes. So if you look at the way we have learned when the Sthula Sharira, the physical attributes of Devi. You know what are the physical attributes of Devi. Now they show Devi as having attributes and sitting on Sadashiva, several aspects which we covered. But these images, the sacred stones, all the worship through traditional archana, through gestures, all these things are done, and this is also part of Sampradaya. And she is the Ishwari of these sacred traditional rites. So if you're going to do it, again, please learn it from the right source. Please do not pick up a book and say that I am capable of learning it on my own. That is not the way to do it. You have to learn it, get properly trained, ordained, and then get into the learning of these sampradayas. 711. Om Sadhune Namaha. Om Sadhune Namaha. The name is Sadhu. So Sadhu basically refers to one who possesses equanimity. So she who possesses equanimity. And like I said, this name and the next name put together becomes Sadhvi. And to ensure that we do not have a reputation, that's why this is called a Sadhu, and the next name is called as E. So the word sadhu, what is that? What it means is that one who possesses samatva, equanimity. Yeah, the equanimity. What this means is that abidance in the concept of yoga. Yeah, and just as heat is inherent to fire and coolness is to water, equanimity also refers to Devi. So this is the perspective as far as Devi is considered. Yeah. Then we say there is another perspective of sadhu which Bhaskaracharya says it means appropriate. So what is appropriate to Devi? What appropriate to Devi is dharma. What is inappropriate is adharma. The appropriate aspect is Devi. Inappropriate aspect is Devi's Maya. So that is also the other perspective of the word sadhu. 712 Om Yai Namaha. Om Yai Namaha. The word is E. The word is E, but when it comes to the Lalitha Sahasranamam, Lalitha Tripurasundari's name, it is Om Yai Namaha. So she who is the symbol E, that is what this refers to. Now, if you look at the varnas, the varnas, which is basically the Sanskrit alphabets, all the Sanskrit alphabets represent Devi. Now, the syllable A refers to Vishnu and E is Devi, which is Vishnu's sister. Okay, so the Brahman has got two purposes of creation. One aspect is dividing into quality, which is called as dharma, and the thing that is qualified, which is dharmi. Dharmi is Lord Shiva. Then dharma has got feminine and a masculine form. The feminine form is the sister of Vishnu and the wife of Shiva, and the masculine form is Vishnu, yeah, governing the universe. So this is the perspective as far as dharma is concerned. Now the symbol E or the name E is the Bijakshara or the core component of the Panchadashi and the Shodashi mantra. Yeah, Shodashakshi mantra, Panchadashi and Shodashakshi mantra. This is one of the Bijaksharas of the mantra. There is another perspective of E which represents Devi as Kamakala. Kamakala. We've covered the name Kamakala before, and this is the aspect from which creation and bondage of Maya arise. Kamakala is responsible for creation, and from that creation, Maya happens, bondage, all these things come about. So this is the meaning of the 712th name, Om Yai Namaha. 713, Om Guru Mandala Rupinyai Namaha. Guru Mandala Rupinyai Namaha. So she who embodies in herself the lineage of Gurus. The lineage of Gurus. So starting from Paramashiva and ending with one's own Guru. Starting from Paramashiva and ending with one's own Guru, that entire lot of it is called as Guru Mandala. So she is Guru Mandala Rupini. That is what the Devi's name is. So Devi, this line also includes Devi, Supreme Brahman. She is also one of our Gurus. But the fact to be remembered is that even your current spiritual Guru, that spiritual Guru is also part of this Guru Mandala. So you have what is that a shloka which we say, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshal Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, which is a Guru mantra, which basically puts Guru, and they say that Mata Pita Guru Devam. your mother, father, and guru, and only after that it is your God. Because your guru is the person who inculcates the concept of God inside you and points you towards God. It's not that guru says that I am God. No, guru never says that. But because guru leads you to God, therefore guru is considered equivalent to God. So this is what this is referring to. And India is a separate, very, very celebrated lineage of gurus. So they say that constantly bow to Narayana, Brahma, the lotus born, Vasishta, Shakti, his son Parashara, Vyasa, Shuka, Gaudapada, Govinda, his disciple Shankara, Padmapada, Hastamalaga, Totaka, and all my other gurus. And this line of gurus, you have so many gurus who are there. Today, when we are in the Kaligala, the Kali Yuga, even here we have gurus. But select your gurus wisely. Select your guru wisely. You can't have a lineage of gurus. So that doesn't work. Yeah, and you have teachers. You have people who are teaching you maybe dance, maybe music, maybe all those. Those are the arts. They are not your gurus. They are your acharyas. They are your acharyas. They are your teachers. The people who are teaching yoga out here. They are not. Nobody is qualified to call themselves a guru. They are acharyas. People who are teaching you and guiding you in the right direction by teaching you those particular forms of art. So they are acharyas, and of course you have to respect your acharyas. So the guru is somebody who takes even your dushkarma. So when you fall at the feet of a guru, the guru is capable of taking your dushkarma onto themselves as well. So I teach yoga. If somebody is coming and falling at my feet, I have a big problem with it, because I can't manage my own dushkarma. Forget taking on somebody else's dushkarma. I can't do it. So I always say, Baba, leave me, spare me. I can't take on your dushkarma. So what this means effectively is that all gurus, lineage of gurus are to be respected. Find your guru. She is Guru Mandala Rupini, and she embodies in herself the lineage of all gurus. 714. Om Kulotirnaye Namaha. So Kulotirna, Uttirna, which basically means she transcends. She transcends the senses, the kulas. She is the one who transcends Uttirna, the inner and outer senses. She is not the object of the senses and can be reached only by going beyond the senses, which is by meditation. She is not involved in worldly joys and sorrows. That is why she is called as Kulotirna. This is where we separate ourselves from God. We experience happiness and sorrow through the senses. The Lord is well beyond the entire family of senses. So we sit here and say, Hare Guruvayurappa, and he sits there watching all this prayers that are happening, all these things, and he is thinking, wow, this is my divine play. And these people are running around, absolutely running around like useless fellows without even knowing what this is. That is where the concept of surrender has completely failed. If we realize that all that is happening is his divine Leela of Lord Krishna, divine Leela of Guruvayurappan, or divine Leela of Devi, then Sampurna Sharanagati will ensure that you have nothing to worry about. Sampurna Sharanagati, completely surrender at the feet of the Lord, and then you will realize that there's absolutely nothing to worry about. The Lord will take care of all your concerns, worries, this, that. We turn around and think that all this is our making, and it is in our hands to control all these things. Nothing is in our hands. We are all just small actors in this divine play that is happening in the world. We are very small actors, very, very small actors. The last name for today, 715, Om Bhagaradhyaye Namaha. Bhagaradhyaye Namaha. So she who is worshipped in the sun's disk, Bhaga is the sun's disk. So that is referring to the Anahata Chakra in the heart. Bhaga there are several meanings of the word Bhaga. Bhaga can mean the sun, Bhaga can mean the moon, Bhaga can mean Lord Shiva. Bhaga can refer to the six virtues also. Now, what this means is that Devi is one who is worshipped by all of these aspects. Now, if you look at the sun's perspective, Devi is part of the Anahata, at the Anahata chakra. Devi is the sun that is there at the Anahata chakra. Then the other aspect is that of the ultimate dispenser. So it refers to the Sahasrara chakra, and Sahasrara chakra refers to the moon, and that is where the Amrita actually comes from there. So therefore, it is the ultimate dispenser. And there is another perspective. The name Bhaga refers to one of the names of Rudra, Lord Shiva. Now, there is a further name which I refer to, which is the fact that it refers to the six Aishwaryas. Devi is worshipped by the six Aishwaryas, which is auspiciousness, supremacy, fame, valor, discrimination, and knowledge. These are the aspects of Bhaga Radhya. I offer these words at the lotus feet of Lalitha Tripura Sundari Devi. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Karacharana Kridam va Kayajam Karmajam va Shravananayanajam va Manasam va Paradam Vidam Avidam va Sarvamedakshamasva Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om